Well, hello and welcome to Producer Dan. Thank you so much for stopping by the channel today. Today I'm talking about Pro Tools GrooveCell, a virtual drum machine, pad workstation, and sequencer that was made available to Pro Tools users in 2022.4 update. GrooveCell has 16 velocity-sensitive pads and a 32-step sequencer with full mixer capabilities. So it's been my mission to get to know Pro Tools better, to get to know my DAW a little better. So I don't normally use instruments like this for my drums. I use EZdrummer 3. I've done a nice video on EZdrummer 3, so check that out. Also available in Pro Tools is Boom. That's been around since 2008, and that's an excellent drum machine emulation. I've done a video on that, so check that out. Also, for Pro Tools GrooveCell and Pro Tools PlayCell, they make new sounds available all the time through their sonic drop feature that you can access through your Pro Tools link. So I thought it'd be fun to look at some of the presets first. Up top is GrooveCell Spectral Particles. Let's try the Meta Kit. Let's turn on the sequencer. Okay, let's try another folder. In their factory folder, their flat pack kits are usually pretty fun. Here's Acid Tech. And the number next to it, I believe, indicates the tempo that they would like that to be played at. So I'm going to change my tempo to 125. That should sound pretty good. All right. Let's try another one from that folder. How about Boom Bap? I love how you can add musical samples into your pads and adjust the pitch down here in the sequencer. Hydra Kit. Oh, I love that one. That one was great. And PI Kit. So those are some of the presets, and obviously you can make changes to any of these presets and save them as your own. If you wanted to add a few more beats to this, let's alter this beat. Let's add a crash. There's some low toms. Okay, and you can make adjustments to the velocity down here in the sequencer. You can change the pitch if you wanted. And you can pan left to right. They have and there's a probability setting here. So they would hit about 50% of the time. So you audition the samples here. There's a mute and a solo. You can have it change direction. You can clear out the entire lane with this X. You can nudge your notes one step to the left or one step right. And that would be something you would do with something that you wanted to randomize a little bit. And if you click on these dots, you can change the number of steps that each sample plays in the sequencer. For example, I can have the kick drum just play 16 steps, while the rest of the sequencer travels the 32 steps. Also, you can add a swing to an instrument. So I'm going to add some swing to this hi-hat and make it hit a little late in places. Or you could nudge that ahead just a little bit, just to give it some attitude. I love that. Okay. Also, each pad, each lane has pattern 1, pattern 2, and pattern 3. So you can program up to 3 different patterns for each instrument. Also, in the sequencer, you see this green lock. That means that when it's green, that means it's unlocked. Go. You can make changes to the pads or the sequencer or the effects. And when it's not green, that means when you pull down another preset, you can lock the effects and you can lock in the sequence that you have. So let's take a look at the pads. So each pad has its own mixer capabilities. For example, this sub-hit, we can turn that up or down. We can pan it right to left. And we can change the pitch. Wow. So you could make it even lower. And just below is where you can do some work on the actual sample. For example, on this snare, we could push the beginning of that up ahead a little bit and take off the transients. Or you could squeeze the ending a little bit and remove the tail. Or if you had a sample of your own that you brought in and it had some silence, you could adjust where this would begin. And down below, there's a high pass filter and a low pass filter. And our reverb and delay sends. And our delay. All right, here on tab number 2, we have kind of a mode section. This is where you can put your sounds through these emulations. So let's try the snare through these emulations here. That's what it sounds like by itself. Here's old sampler. Drum machine 1200. Super console. Bad converters. And hollow sounding. I'll turn that off. And here we can kind of change the attack, kind of soften the attack there, make some changes on the hold, the decay, sustain, and release, and also the pitch. There's a pitch envelope as well. And here on tab number 3, this is fun. This is a place where we can add drive, some saturation, distortion, and also dynamics. Punch, slammer, flattening, exaggerate transients, attack softener, and hard limiting. Those are your basic compression effects. All right, so let's take a look at a preset that I have kind of made some adjustments to and made it my own. It's a 90s street kit. I did work on this project at 80 beats per minute, so I'll go ahead and make that change. I don't know why that spoke to me. It's very 90s, but I worked with that. And I also put this music to it. I put a bass line. This is an acoustic bass, a stand-up upright acoustic bass. I also added this electric piano sample. One thing you can do is pull in your own samples. So there is a sample I want to work with here. I want to pull it in. So I'm going to get it from my sound library. So we'll come up to Window, New Workspace, Sound Base. And here's where all of your GrooveCell samples and anything else you have in your sound library will be. And I'm going to search for this sound, CHD-BUD. I think it's this one. Yeah. So I'm going to pull this guitar sample into GrooveCell. You just hover over it, grab it, and drop it into your pad. I'm going to close this, and now it's here. I'm going to turn that up just a little bit. So if we come to the sequencer, we can figure out where we want to put that sound. So I did some change to the volume and I'm panning it a little bit to the right. So now that we have our sequencer all set and ready to go, we have our sounds. I'm going to show you how to pull the MIDI information into your DAW so you can more easily make edits and work it into your song. So over here in the upper right hand corner, press Export. Press Export MIDI. It made the change to MIDI. Hover over it and drag this into your session. I'm going to pull it all the way to the beginning here. And now we want to exit out of here. And it's important you turn off the sequencer now because you don't want this running at the same time as your sequencer. You'll get some phase issues. I had to reshoot this video because of that. So just remember to do that. And I'm going to close that down. So let's go ahead and duplicate this across our work. So Command D. Okay. And I know I don't want this guitar. Here's our guitar that we just added. I don't want that to hit until after this electric piano comes in. So I'm going to remove it from this one. And I'll remove it from this one. and this one, and this one. So we'll have our drums start, our bass kick in, our electric piano kick in, and then I want my drums to completely drop out in this one, but I'll leave the guitar in. All right, let's see what that sounds like. All right, so that's GrooveCell, a virtual drum machine sequencer in Pro Tools, included in Pro Tools. I think it's a very powerful sequencer, very useful for this type of music production. I hope you found this video helpful, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Take care.